with Joseph Skoda. And what a beautiful day it is today. Look behind me. We have some great things going on. The world's a beautiful place. Unfortunately, the last several weeks where I live here in California, we've had a lot of smoke, a lot of fog, a lot of uncertainty, a little bit warmer than usual, which is horrible. In fact, I just came from Vegas, and thankfully it was warmer there, so I felt a little more comfortable when I did get back to California. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about honor, courage, and respect. Honor, courage, and respect. Now, most of you know I've been in the Air Force. I did 21 years, traveled all around the world from the Philippines to Guam and Saudi Arabia, Okinawa, Maine, Arizona, South Carolina, California. I've been deployed to Kuwait and Panama and Korea and Thailand and so many other places. I forgot. And besides that, I've been to a lot of points in between. Now, during my career in the military, I was a proud airman, Air Force, very proud of what I did there, and more importantly, a proud American. Now, I did notice when I was in Okinawa, and not just there, I got it a lot. A lot of us Americans, military-wise, and probably civilian also, have a little grit to us, have a little attitude, have a little bit of, I'm better than you. Now, that sometimes comes across strong and sometimes it's subtle. We don't even realize we're coming across so strongly like that in our persona. And I saw that a lot in the Philippines when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. Right, we're better than everyone. Boy, that is so far from the truth. There are so many people, nationalities I've never even heard of, that have taught me things over the years and showed me, more importantly, what integrity, respect, honor, courage really is. Sure, you need to be proud of your nation, your country. You need to be proud of that flag that we salute and understand what that means. Now, I often talk about over and over again, if I was president or had the powers to be, I'd make every living being that comes out of high school, male and female, do some service time. Not 2 years, but 3. It takes you 2 years to learn your job. At least the third year, we can get something out of you. And then you can go back and have a little bit of pride in what the United States stands for, learn a skill, and depending on how long you stayed in the military, get your educational benefits. Wouldn't that be just better for everyone? Now, quite frankly, if you do not honor America, then why are you here? We're supposed to be making our country even better. We're not perfect. Our leadership's not perfect. We'll never be perfect, but we can make improvements. We can do just a little bit better than our previous ancestors, you could say, and make the world a better place, not just for us Americans, but for the world as a whole. And I believe when we spend time service, and I understand if you have a disability, you really cannot join the military, but maybe a civil service job, from answering the phones to clean up the parks, it really doesn't matter. Every one of us should serve in one way or another that we're capable of doing. Now, we're going to be fighting and screaming, especially the current generation, but as people get used to it, and other cultures do that, they make their all their citizens, especially their males, join the military for 2 or 3 years. Then you can stay or go. It doesn't matter, but at least you'll understand what our purpose is, what we're fighting for, what do we stand up for. And the longer you stay in the military, you start to get a little bit of courage. A little bit of courage to try something new, visit another land, learn from a culture that maybe you look down upon. There's a lot of third world countries out there that I've learned so much. Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, that's just Asia. I spent a lot of time in Saudi Arabia too, and even though there's a lot of money there, not everyone there has those resources. Pretty much have to belong to the royal family or be an outsider like me they hired big bucks to come on in and do things. Now, I wasn't paid any big bucks because I was military. I got what I got and was happy to get that. But understand, you always have a rich and poor and hopefully a big middle class in every society. But when we have that honor and that courage to maybe challenge what the uppers are doing so we can learn, so we can become better citizens, so maybe we can earn a bigger income than we did before. Isn't that what it's all about? Earning just a little bit more, not just to help ourselves and our family and friends, but the society as a whole. And understand, riches is not always money. It's usually our mindset and our knowledge. So we put that to task, we can do so much more than we were able to before. One of the problems with mostly Americans, other cultures too, the French are usually really bad at this, is respect. Sure, we can honor our nation, our parents, we can have the courage to try something new, but to respect one another, to respect one another's culture. In Mexico and even the Middle East, they often take a siesta during the afternoon and close all the businesses down, the shops. They take a nap and they come back in the evening stronger than ever and stay open to the wee hours. But most Americans, we don't do that. We work from, sunset to sunrise and we're done. What happens if we could take that little nap in between? Have a little bit, let me sleep on, let me think about it. Even if it's a couple hours, you come back with your mind fresh and you can be open to new ideas and not be so burnt out. I remember in my career, always those meetings that took place at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon were the worst, especially right after lunch. And then toward the end of the day, sure, you may get some things done, but what are you thinking about back in your mind? Right, going home, getting out of this, and worrying about it again tomorrow when we reconvene. And what happens if you respect cultures and let them share their ideas with us, where that little siesta in the middle is really beneficial? To that, sleeping on something before making a rash decision can really benefit all of us. Sure, it's not easy to change our ways, change is hard. And that's okay. That's why we need someone else to help us get along and figure out things that we couldn't do for ourselves very well. It's so important. I'm going to mention this. These are the 3 points I really want to talk about. Honor. You need to honor, you don't have to honor your government, but you need to honor your nation and the foundation it was built upon. Perfect or imperfect. Obviously it was imperfect, but there's a foundation there to benefit the society you live in. Whether it's America, Canada, Germany, Malaysia, wherever it is, there is something there they built a foundation upon with the idea of making society better for its citizens. So honor. If you're having trouble honoring what's going on, get back into the history books, and probably more importantly, ask your grandparents what happened, why things are so screwed up if they are right now. So important. And that courage. Because when we learn from our grandparents and maybe their parents, the way society's supposed to go, or the plan of how things are supposed to get better, and especially their dreams for us children to do bigger and better than they were ever able to do. That's courage. What about women's suffrage back in the, I don't remember the years, it had to be 40 or 50 years ago, where they were not allowed to vote. They were not allowed to own land. They were not allowed to have a say-so what went on outside the family. And we had every culture. Blacks didn't have privileges. Like I said, women didn't have privileges. Other minority ethnic groups didn't really have the privileges that guys like me did. Now, we made the transition, and I think we've done the best we could to give everyone equal opportunity. But let's be realistic. Equal opportunity isn't equal everywhere we go. You can argue with me on that, and I thought from my standpoint, everyone was being treated equal, but you don't know what you don't know, and that's always an issue. And don't forget that respect. Whatever culture, whatever color, whatever sex orientation you are, whatever it is, we need to respect each other. Because when we come to the table and respect, we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree, especially in our political parties. We rarely agree. It seems like that's the expectation not to agree, but we can still respect what others are trying to do to make the world a better place, and try to figure out where they're coming from and how that affects us. So that's important. Keep it the honor, the courage, the respect, and we can have a much better world than we live in today. Don't let anyone bring you down to your ideas. You are a person with experiences of your own. You're a person that has ideals of your own. You're a person that's a product of your environment. Obviously, your parents, your education, your neighborhood. I challenge you to step out of that just a little bit more and find out what the foundation of America, whatever country you're from, or what that stands for. And are we still following that path? Or do things get so mixed up where we really don't know who we are or what our identity is anymore? Once again, you and I are not perfect, but we have to have something to believe in. And if we can believe in that honor, if we can believe in that courage, and more importantly, believe in respecting us, each individual, for who they are, we can accomplish so much more with the diversity around us than you and I can together. We're not a perfect people. We're not a perfect race. And one day you and I are going to be hopefully 6 feet under, and the generations behind us, we hope they're growing bigger and stronger than ever before, but in the right manner. And it's up to you and I to teach those generations what's really important. Get rid of that chip on your shoulder. Get rid of the bitterness. Get rid of that fear and hatred that some of us have. And let's go on and do our best to lock arms, live in peace, and make the world a better place. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. I just want to remind you, honor, courage, and respect goes a long way in this world, now as it will in the future. Go out and make things happen. Life's great. And please follow us on Facebook and everywhere else that you can, because quite frankly, we live in a good world if you allow it to be. Bye now.
Most famous in New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures provide.
We are now reaching our second year anniversary on our inspirational, educational, and entertainment programmings. As part of our journey, we are so grateful to announce that our programs are now available to watch live in real time on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Periscope. A big appreciation to all our followers, viewers, supporters, and to those who are cheering for our success. Thank you very much for your patronage. For 2 years we have produced over 25 shows. And joined by passionate collaborators, individuals, and organizations.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now. We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you.
Hello everyone, you're in the office with Joseph Skoda. If you look around, the office is colorful today and there's a lot of creativity, especially in the tree that I'm standing near. You know, often people ask me, why do I serve? Why do I get involved in different organizations? Why, especially nonprofits, where you're lucky to get reimbursed for mileage, if anything else. And I often tell people, did you ever have someone bake cookies for your ball game? Bring some chips or snacks when you were playing baseball or football as a kid? Have anyone ever give you some advice? Maybe tell you to go to college, join the military like I did, or join some other relative, something important. Have you ever had an aunt or uncle take you under the wing and say, come here, knucklehead, I'm going to try to straighten you out? That is so important in this world, is to serve. Now, we often forget that people usually have given their times, talents, or treasures for our upbringing, for our profession, for us to be better people. And quite frankly, that means more than all the money in the world. Knowing that someone cares about you being a productive, safe, healthy, happy person, human being. And a lot of us forget about that. The purpose of life is to serve others. That is our blessing to other people. Often when we chase that mighty dollar, and don't get me wrong, we all need a mighty dollar or euro or peso or something to pay our bills. We need that money to help us with a certain standard of living. We need that to be able to give and donate to others to help them achieve their own goals and put food in their belly and a roof over their head. Totally understand that. But when you involve yourself in a nonprofit without thinking about getting something back, you often get 10, 20, 100% back of the effort you put in. You ever get that smile from a kid who never smiles at anyone? Or maybe someone says thank you. How about someone just says thank you out of the blue? Or someone call you, text you, email you, and say they appreciate you giving them your time? There is nothing better than that. There is not a better feeling than, especially a youngster, saying thank you, Mr. Skoda. Thank you, Mr. Joe. I really appreciate it. Now, there are so many relevant, important organizations in our communities. Take the rape crisis centers, for instance. You and I both know rape happens. It's still alive and well, not just for females, but for males. And we know most males don't want to talk about it. What about child abduction? We know children, we see in the paper all the time, are disappearing. And you and I both know a lot of them are stuck in that sex trade. And you and I have to do our part to stop it, to minimize it, to report it. Because people are being abused each and every day. Thank goodness every few months our current administration breaks up one of those rings and saves some kids. But there are still thousands of others unaccounted for. Now, you know I spent a lot of my time in veterans organizations. I find that's my passion. That's where I got my sense of purpose and my sense of belonging, being a military member for 21 years. And it was somewhere along the line, actually early on in my career, where someone says, okay, one day you're going to get out of the military. Are you going to be prepared for that? And what he was trying to instill in my mind is an education. Because we learn a skill, whether it's welding, accounting, finance, working on planes, whatever it is, it's a skill no one can take from you. And if you go to college or get some other kind of formal education on top of that, no one can take that. And that's some of your foundation to help you jump when it's time to leave the military. Or maybe make a career out of it like I did. But one day we're going to leave whatever we're doing today, and we want the doors of opportunity to open up for us whatever we choose to do in the future. I started off as an aircraft mechanic. Before I joined the military, I was a cook. You ever hear of F.W. Woolworths? I was the cook for that cafeteria. That was pretty exciting, and some other things I did before that. I started off as an F-4, F-5 fighter jet mechanic. And I was able to get my bachelor's degree in aviation, was able to get my FAA airframe and power plant license. And then I lost the passion for working on planes. So I got myself into surveillance, command and control, something a little different. HR was part of that. Well, later on, I got a master's of business. All those things were great. But what I'm telling you is, regardless of the profession you're in today, prepare yourself for tomorrow. Prepare yourself for the unknown. We're still in a pandemic. People are dying. I know it's a small number, but people are getting sick. And the longer we stay home and secluded, I think we're getting more sick because we're getting anxious. And the anxiety, we're jumping all over the place and don't know what to do with ourselves. Don't you realize this time where a lot of us are forced to stay home, it's another opportunity to learn a different skill? Sure, a lot of us are afraid of the computer, or afraid of Zoom or GoToMeeting or other virtual platforms. This is the time to learn those things. In a lot of cases, you have all the time in the world to learn and practice. And you can take little classes online and learn these different things that maybe you never had time to before. What about arts and crafts? I was just looking at a video today, on YouTube of course, about how to make a tattoo, a temporary tattoo. How to make it, how to design it, how it's going to stay on your arm or leg, wherever you want to, for several hours, even several days if you do it right. And my son learned some new skills about doing something with the wheels, dipping the wheels of his car. Not spray painting, not electromagnetic, whatever, but he learned something, a new skill that he can utilize in the future. Doesn't have to be a profession, but it gave him a chance to learn something new that he could never have done if he was still working full time doing what he was doing. You understand? Getting back to the whole purpose of this conversation. Look at this. Look how colorful. Red, white, and blue pine cone. Simple. A little bit of paint here, a little bit of paint there dripping. This is arts and crafts. This is a talent. And it's not a hard talent, but it's something you and I can do and decorate our Christmas tree maybe in a couple of months or outside of our house now. Give us a gift. It could be one of those prizes of when you're helping and mentor a child and say, here, you're doing a great job. Or, hello, Mrs. Jones, thank you for making cookies for my bake sale. Whatever it is, you and I need to find a way to give back and show that appreciation. Show that love. Show that, maybe you don't want to say love, okay, but just show someone that they're important enough to you that they cared and you remember. What happens when those people are no longer in our lives? Our moms and dads are supposed to go before us, and hopefully we had a decent childhood. Not perfect, no one ever has one. But what happens when mom and dad is no longer around to lift you up, wipe your nose, make sure your shoes are tied? Those are important. It might have been a grandparent, it might have been an aunt or uncle, it might have been a neighbor. I get it. We all have different childhoods, different backgrounds, different challenges. But you and I always have an opportunity, especially when you have a smartphone where you get on the internet any time of day or night, or nothing else but take pictures and learn how to edit and focus and maybe power, what do you call it? Well, enhance our photos and make them better. You have it right in your hands most of the time. So when someone asks me once again, why do I serve? Well, I do in the veteran organizations, like I said, because I still have a lot to offer others and mentoring. And a lot of people, like I said, don't know what to do when they leave the military. So I spend a lot of time just helping people find that purpose once again. Spend a lot of time telling the importance of joining a veteran organization like the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Disabled American Veterans. They are important. The Honor Guard, and my own personal nonprofit, GI Connections. You and I need to serve. We all have a time, talent, or treasure, or a combination of all of those. Find something that resonates with you in your community. Become part of it. Make it your life, even for a short period of time. But remember, we are helping, we are serving, and we're making the world not just a better place, but a safer place. God bless you. God bless America. Hey, reach out to me if you want some help. Talk to you soon. If you like our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.